Hi, my name's Mike and this is Harp Making in Late-Georgian London. Until recently, knowledge of harp making in London was dominated by the Erard firm who, having temporal advantage and dominance over other makers, eclipsed their lesser-known competitors. Harp making arrived in London from France during the early 1790s when Sebastian Erard opened his business at 18 Great Marlborough Street. Over subsequent decades, mainly European makers found Soho an ideal location, close to suppliers and customers, and it is here that the first wave of workshops opened. The ledgers of the Erard Company open a window on rates of manufacture and remain the largest body of documents surviving from a London harp maker. Recently discovered sources, however, such as the Erat Papers and Willis Diary, although limited in time, provide richer and deeper information, opening the doors of long-lost, forgotten businesses. These documents and others form the backbone of harp making in Late-Georgian London. Taking these sources together, it is now possible to describe how workshops and workforces were organised, to identify the breadth and range of instrument type and decoration. Adding to Erard, we can now restore the names of Alexander Barry, Joseph Beesmore, John Foos Brown, James Delval, Francois Joseph Deasy, Edward Dodd, Jacob Erat and his sons J. Jr. and James, Frederick Rojan, Christian Harnack, James Hanley, Philip Holcomb, George Holderness, John Charles Schweitzer, Emmanuel Serkey and Johann Andreas Stumpf. A product of industrial and political revolution, the harp was quickly adopted by the middle and upper classes, becoming the focus of female education, despite most professionals being male. Associated with femininity and marriageability, and occasionally with more sensual and even sexual perceptions of womanhood, the harp was at the vanguard of fashionability, its decorative form heavily influenced by archaeological discovery and architectural novelty. It was expected to sound and look beautiful, but also to perform as a piece of fine furniture adorning interiors. Decorative designs survive from the Erard Company, and a recent discovery, albeit too late to be included in the book, names a renowned architect as the decorative designer of Deasy's perpendicular harp, the sculptor of which was equally esteemed. In London, competition drove the technical design of the harp, with makers hoping to snatch dominance from Erard. Between 1794 and 1845, 23 patents were registered by 17 makers, inventors or businessmen. These are all examined in the book, as are a number of developments and innovations which were never registered. Family was often at the heart of 19th century business, and harp making was no different. The Erat accounts detail the minutiae of family life and death. They show how the family coped with the death of their founder, Jacob Erat, and how the business passed via executors to his eldest sons. The Erat Papers also reveal the materials used in the making of harps. Suppliers are named, some shared with other makers, and their accounts recorded. Employees and their roles are named, and we find out about their apprenticeships, working conditions and wages too. Business inventories and accounts of building repairs enable the reconstruction of Erat's workshops and show the stages of harp making. Customer records reveal a surprising range of harp colours and accessories. Perhaps the most interesting document examined in the book is a diary of Robert Willis. aged only 19, Willis patented a novel double-action harp, working in the workshops of and with the support of Jacob Erath. Willis, the illegitimate son of Robert Darling Willis, George III's doctor, describes the design, prototyping and making phases of harp design, a process through which all harps would have gone before going into production. Sources reveal that nearly 22,000 harps were made in London during the first half of the 19th century. 7,000 were made by Erard alone, and another 4,000 by Erath. Many minor makers accounted for tens and even hundreds and sometimes thousands of other harps, adding to this total. Throughout the book are nearly 200 images, bringing together for the first time instruments, accessories, iconography, portraiture, maps, advertisements, drawings, designs and tools, all related to harp making in Late-Georgian London.